Captain Deho stood on the bridge of the human research vessel Harmony, watching the stars through the main window. The ship moved slowly through space, carrying a crew of 50 humans on what appeared to be a simple science mission. The metal walls around him hummed with the sound of old engines and basic life support systems. "Captain," called Communications Officer Hyejin from her station. "We have incoming ships. Multiple contacts on long-range sensors." Deho walked over to look at her screen. 5 large ships were moving toward them at high speed. The ships looked like nothing he had ever seen before. They seemed to be made of liquid metal that flowed and changed shape as they moved. Beautiful lights danced across their surfaces in patterns that hurt to look at directly. "Alien ships," whispered Dr. Miran, the chief scientist. She was standing at her own station, pretending to look worried while secretly checking readings on hidden sensors that the aliens could not detect. The alien ships surrounded the Harmony in a perfect circle. Each ship was 10 times larger than the human vessel. Their hulls reflected starlight like mirrors, and strange energy fields crackled between them. The humans could feel the power of these ships, even through their own thick metal walls. A voice suddenly filled the bridge. It sounded like music mixed with the crash of breaking glass. The universal translator worked hard to change the alien words into something humans could understand. "Attention, primitive vessel," the voice said. "This is Admiral Yun Su of the Alterian Imperial Fleet. You have entered space that belongs to the Galactic Council. Your presence here is not allowed." Deho looked at his crew. Engineer Tae-min was at his station watching the power readings. Weapons Specialist Jin Woo sat ready at the defense controls. They all knew what they had to do, but it was hard to look scared when they were actually excited. "This is Captain Deho of the Earth ship Harmony," he replied through the communication system. "We are peaceful explorers. We did not know this space was claimed by anyone." The alien voice laughed. The sound made the humans feel sick to their stomachs. "Peaceful explorers? You call yourselves explorers with that pathetic metal box? We have been watching your species for some time, humans. Your technology is thousands of years behind ours." On the main screen, an image appeared. It showed an alien creature with 4 arms and skin that looked like crystal. This was Admiral Yun Su. His eyes glowed with a cold blue light, and when he moved, his body seemed to bend light around it. "Look at your ship," Yun Su continued. "Metal plates held together with simple bolts, chemical rockets for movement, electromagnetic barriers for protection. We used such crude methods when we were still crawling in the mud of our home world." Dr. Miran bit her lip to keep from smiling. She looked down at her hidden sensor readings. The alien ships were even more advanced than Earth scientists had expected. Their hulls were made of programmable matter that could change its properties in real time. Their weapons used exotic energy that existed in dimensions humans could barely understand. Their shields worked by bending space itself. "Your weapons," Yunsu said, looking at data on his own screens. "Fire metal bullets using chemical explosives. How wonderfully primitive. Our weapons remake matter at the quantum level. They can turn your entire ship into gas in less than a second." Taemin pretended to look terrified while he checked the readings from the Harmony's engines. Everything was working perfectly. The fusion reactor was running smooth and quiet. The gravity generators were stable. Most importantly, the special communication array hidden deep in the ship's core was ready to send the signal when the time came. "And your crew," the alien admiral continued. "Biological beings who need air to breathe and water to drink. You live for less than 100 of your years. and then you die. We have moved beyond such weakness. Our bodies are perfect. Our minds are connected to quantum computers that let us think a million thoughts at once. Jin pressed a button that made the harmony send out a distress signal. To the aliens, it would look like the humans were calling for help that would never come, but the signal carried hidden information that only other human ships could understand. "We mean no harm," Daeho said, making his voice shake with fear. "Please, we have families back on Earth. We just want to go home." Home? Yunsu's crystal face showed what might have been amusement. "Your little blue planet with its single moon? We mapped your entire solar system centuries ago. One small star with a few rocky planets. Nothing of value except perhaps your world's water and the minerals in its crust." The alien ships moved closer. The humans could see strange symbols flowing across their hulls like living writing. The symbols seemed to move and change even as they watched, as if the ships themselves were thinking. "We are going to take your ship," Yunsu announced. "Your crew will be processed and sent to work in our mining operations in the outer systems. Your vessel will be studied so we can learn more about primitive construction methods. Consider it an honor to contribute to the advancement of galactic civilization." Dr. Miran looked at her readings again. The alien sensors were scanning the harmony with incredible detail. They could see every bolt, every wire, every drop of water in the recycling systems. But the scans showed exactly what the humans wanted them to see. The special materials built into the ship's hull made sure that certain areas remained invisible to even the most advanced sensors. "You have 1 standard hour to prepare for boarding," Yunsu said. "Use this time to make peace with whatever gods your primitive species worships. Your old life ends today." The communication ended, and the bridge became quiet except for the hum of the ship's systems. Daeho looked at his crew. They all had the same expression on their faces. Not fear, but anticipation. "Status report," he said quietly. "All systems green," Taemin reported. "The fusion reactor is running at optimal levels. Life support is stable, and the special array is charged and ready." "Communications are clear," added Hyojin. "The signal was sent successfully. Confirmation. Received." "Sensors show all 5 alien ships in perfect position," Dr. Miran said. "Their formation is exactly what we hoped for. They think they have us surrounded, but they have actually surrounded themselves." Jinwoo checked his weapons console. The Harmony did have real weapons, but they were indeed primitive compared to what the aliens carried. Kinetic projectiles, electromagnetic pulse generators, and chemical explosives. Exactly the kind of crude technology that an advanced species would laugh at. "Time until the hour is up?" Daeho asked. 57 minutes and counting," Hyojin replied. Daeho nodded. "Then we wait. Remember, everyone stay in character. They need to believe we are exactly what we appear to be until the moment comes." Outside the ship, the alien vessels continued their patrol. Their sensors swept over the Harmony again and again, finding nothing but a primitive human vessel filled with scared biological creatures using technology that was thousands of years out of date. The aliens had no idea that they were about to witness something that would change their understanding of warfare forever. They thought they knew everything about humans and human technology. They were wrong. In less than an hour, they would learn that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one you underestimate completely. The alien ships continued to circle the Harmony like hunters around trapped prey. Their hulls shifted and flowed, changing color from silver to deep blue to bright gold. Captain Deho watched through the bridge windows as patterns of light danced across the alien vessels, creating displays of beauty that no human artist could match. "Incoming transmission," Hyajin announced. "Different ship this time." The main screen flickered to life, showing a new alien face. This creature looked different from Admiral Yunsu. Where the Admiral had crystal-like skin, this being appeared to be made of flowing metal. His forearms moved like liquid mercury, and his eyes glowed with green fire. "I am Fleet Commander Velnox," the alien said. His voice sounded like metal scraping against stone. "I will be taking direct command of your capture and processing. Admiral Yunsu has more important matters to attend to than dealing with primitive life forms." Dr. Miran glanced at her hidden sensors. The aliens were performing deep scans of the Harmony, but their technology was so advanced that it missed the obvious. They were looking for quantum signatures and dimensional anomalies. They completely ignored simple magnetic fields and basics. "Radio waves, please," Deho said, making his voice crack with emotion. "We have done nothing wrong. We are just scientists trying to learn about the universe." Velnox laughed, a sound like grinding gears. "Scientists? Look at your equipment. Metal telescopes that use primitive lenses, computers that process information, using electrical current through silicon chips, chemical sensors that can barely detect what is right in front of them." The alien commander gestured with one of his flowing arms, and data appeared on the screen between them. It showed detailed readings of the Harmony systems. "Your ship moves by burning hydrogen in a fusion reaction," Velnox continued. "We achieve faster-than-light travel by folding space itself. Your weapons fire chunks of metal using gunpowder. Our weapons reshape reality. Your shields use electromagnetic fields. Our shields exist in 17 different dimensions at once." Engineer Taemin watched his own screens while pretending to be terrified. The alien scans were incredibly detailed, but they showed exactly what the humans wanted them to show. The Harmony appeared to be nothing more than a basic research vessel with outdated technology and a crew of frightened biologicals. "Your lifespans are pathetically short," Velnox went on. "Most of you will be dead within 100 rotations of your planet around its star. We have individuals in our fleet who have lived for thousands of your years. Our minds are enhanced by quantum processors. We can think faster and more clearly than your entire species combined." Weapons specialist Jin Woo checked his console. The alien ships were maintaining their circular formation around the Harmony. Each ship was positioned exactly where Earth's strategists had predicted they would be. The aliens were following standard galactic military procedures, which made them predictable. "Look at your crew," the alien commander said, studying data that showed the biological readings of everyone on board. "Carbon-based life forms that require constant chemical fuel to survive. You need air to breathe, water to drink, and organic matter to consume. So inefficient. So weak." Hyajin monitored the communication channels. The aliens were talking to each other on frequencies they thought humans could not detect. They were discussing how to process the human crew and what to do with the ship. None of them seemed worried about any kind of resistance. "We will give you one more opportunity to surrender peacefully," Velnox announced. "Prepare your crew for transportation. We will beam you aboard our vessels using our matter transmission technology. Your ship will be taken to our research facilities for study." Dr. Miran looked at readings that showed the alien ships were indeed equipped with matter transmission systems. The technology could break down objects at the molecular level and rebuild them somewhere else. It was incredibly advanced, but it required the target to remain perfectly still during the process. What will happen to us? Dae-ho asked, continuing his performance of a frightened ship captain. You will be processed, Velnox replied without emotion. Your biological patterns will be analyzed, your memories will be extracted and studied, your bodies will be modified for maximum efficiency in our mining operations. You will spend the rest of your short lives serving the greater galactic civilization. The alien commander paused, studying the humans through his sensors. Do not think about trying to resist. Your primitive weapons cannot penetrate our shields. Your simple computers cannot hack our quantum-encrypted systems. Your basic sensors cannot even detect most of our ship's capabilities. Taemin suppressed a smile as he watched power readings from the alien vessels. Their shields were indeed incredibly powerful, but they were designed to stop advanced weapons. Quantum disruptors, dimensional bombs, exotic matter cannons. The shields were not built to handle certain types of much simpler attacks. You have 37 minutes remaining, Velnox said. Use this time to prepare yourselves mentally for your new existence. Fighting will only make the process more painful. The communication ended, leaving the bridge in silence. Outside, the alien ships continued their patrol, their beautiful hulls reflecting starlight in mesmerizing patterns. Status report, Dae-ho said quietly. All hidden systems are functioning perfectly, Dr. Miran whispered. The alien scans are not detecting any of our special equipment. They see exactly what we want them to see. Power levels are optimal, Taemin added. All backup systems are online and ready. The signal array is charged to full capacity. Communication channels are clear, Hyojin reported. All frequencies are being monitored. The aliens are not expecting any surprises. Jin Woo checked his weapons one more time. The Harmony's guns were real, but they were designed to look even more primitive than they actually were. Chemical explosives, metal projectiles, electromagnetic pulse weapons, nothing that would impress an advanced alien civilization. Time remaining? Dae-ho asked. 34 minutes and 17 seconds, Hyojin replied. Dae-ho nodded and looked out at the alien ships. They were beautiful and terrible, representing technology that was far beyond anything Earth had ever created. But they had one fatal weakness. They were so advanced that they could not imagine being defeated by anything primitive. Remember, he told his crew, they think they know everything about us. They have scanned our ship, analyzed our technology, and studied our biology. They believe we are helpless. Dr. Miran smiled slightly. They have no idea what humans are really capable of when we are underestimated. The galaxy is about to learn something new, Taemin added quietly. Sometimes the best technology is the technology that your enemy does not expect. Outside, the alien ships prepared for what they thought would be a simple capture operation. Their crews were confident, their systems were ready, and their victory seemed certain. They had dealt with primitive species before, and this would be no different. They were about to discover that humans had spent centuries learning how to turn weakness into strength and disadvantage into opportunity. The galaxy was about to witness something that would change the balance of power forever. The countdown continued, and with each passing minute, the moment of truth grew closer. Captain Dae-ho called his senior officers to the ship's conference room. The small metal chamber was located deep inside the Harmony, surrounded by thick walls that blocked alien sensors. Dr. Miran, Engineer Taemin, Communications Officer Hee-jin, and Weapons Specialist Jin Woo gathered around a simple metal table. Time remaining? Dae-ho asked as they sat down. 22 minutes until the alien deadline, Hyojin replied, checking her portable device. Deho looked at each of his officers. They had trained for this moment for years, but now that it was here, the weight of what they were about to do felt enormous. "Final status reports," he said. "Jinwoo, what do we know about their defenses?" Jinwoo activated a small holographic projector in the center of the table. Images of the alien ships appeared, rotating slowly to show every angle. "Their shields are exactly what we expected," he said. "Multi-dimensional barrier systems that can stop any known weapon in the galaxy. Quantum disruptors, antimatter cannons, dimensional bombs, exotic matter streams. The shields adapt automatically to any threat they detect." He pointed to different parts of the alien ships. "Their hulls are made of programmable matter that can change its properties instantly. They can become harder than diamond or softer than water, depending on what kind of attack they face." "What about their weapons?" Deho asked. "Terrifying," Jinwoo admitted. "Energy beams that can remake matter at the molecular level. They could turn our entire ship into gas in seconds. Reality manipulation devices that can change the laws of physics in a small area. And quantum torpedoes that exist in multiple dimensions at once." Dr. Miran leaned forward. "But there is something important they do not know," she said. "All of their technology is designed to fight enemies who use similar advanced systems. They have never faced an opponent who deliberately uses primitive methods." She activated her own device, showing sensor readings from the alien ships. "Look at this. Their quantum computers are constantly analyzing thousands of possible threats, dimensional attacks, exotic matter weapons, time manipulation devices. But they are not programmed to handle simple kinetic energy." Taemin nodded. "It is like building a wall to stop artillery, but leaving it open to people with hammers." "Exactly," Dr. Miran said. "Their shields can stop a weapon that bends space and time. But they might have trouble with something as simple as a thrown rock." Hyojin checked her communication equipment. "The signal array is ready," she reported. "As soon as we activate it, the special ship will know to begin its approach." Deho looked around the table at his crew. "Are we certain this will work? If we are wrong, we all die, and Earth loses its chance to prove itself to the galaxy." "Captain," Dr. Miran said, "this plan was created by the best minds Earth has ever produced. Strategist Sunja spent 5 years developing it. She studied every alien encounter for the past century. She found the pattern." "What pattern?" Deho asked. "Advanced civilizations always make the same mistake," Miran explained. "They assume that more complex technology is always better technology. They forget that simple solutions can be just as effective, and sometimes more effective than complicated ones." Taemin pulled up another display. "Look at their ship formation. It is perfect according to galactic military standards. Each ship covers the others. Their shields overlap for maximum protection. Their weapons can target any point in space around us. But," Jinwoo added, "the formation assumes they are fighting other ships with similar technology. Ships that move in predictable ways and use recognizable weapons. The hidden ship does not fit their expectations," Hyojin said. "They cannot detect it because they are looking for quantum signatures and dimensional distortions. They are not looking for simple magnetic fields and basic radio waves." Dr. Miran smiled. "The most beautiful part of this plan is that we are not lying to them. Everything they have detected about the harmony is true. We really are using primitive technology. Our weapons really are chemical explosives and metal projectiles. Our shields really are basic electromagnetic barriers. The difference," Deho said, understanding, "is that we are using primitive technology on purpose." "Exactly," Miran replied. "They see our primitive methods as a sign of weakness. We see them as tools that they cannot counter because they have forgotten how to fight against simple attacks. Taemin checked his engineering displays. All systems are ready for Protocol Nightmare. The hidden ship should be in position now. What exactly will happen when we activate the protocol? Daeho asked. Jinwoo answered. The hidden ship will reveal itself using methods that will confuse their sensors. It will attack using weapons that their shields are not designed to stop. Most importantly, it will prove to the aliens that humans are not as primitive as they appear. The psychological effect will be devastating, Dr. Miran added. These aliens have built their entire civilization on the belief that advanced technology always wins. When they see that belief proven wrong, their confidence will shatter. Hae-jin looked at her timer. 15 minutes remaining. Daeho stood up. Then it is time to show the galaxy what humans can do when everyone underestimates us. The officers returned to their stations on the bridge. Outside, the alien ships continued their patrol, confident in their superiority. Their sensors showed the Harmony as a helpless primitive vessel filled with frightened biologicals using outdated technology. All stations report ready, Taemin announced. Communication array is charged and standing by, Hae-jin added. Weapon systems are prepared, Jinwoo reported. Hidden sensors show all alien ships in perfect position, Dr. Miran said. Daeho looked out at the beautiful alien vessels that surrounded his ship. In a few minutes, those ships would experience something they had never encountered before. They would face an enemy that turned weakness into strength and primitive technology into an advantage. The aliens think this is the end of the story, he said to his crew. They believe they have won before the fight even begins. They are about to learn that humans write different kinds of stories. He moved to his command chair and placed his hand on the activation control for Protocol Nightmare. For centuries, humans have been the underdogs, he continued. We have faced enemies stronger than us, smarter than us, and more advanced than us. And we have learned to win anyway. The countdown timer showed 10 minutes remaining. Today, we show the galaxy that being underestimated is the greatest weapon of all, Daeho said. Activate Protocol Nightmare. Hae-jin pressed the button that sent the signal into space. Somewhere in the darkness between the stars, another human ship received the message and began to move. The real battle was about to begin. The alien ships moved closer to the Harmony, their formations tightening like a metal fist around a small insect. Fleet Commander Vel Knox watched from his bridge as his vessels prepared for the final capture. Everything was going according to plan. Time remaining? He asked his tactical officer. 3 minutes until deadline, the alien replied. The human ship shows no signs of resistance. Their power levels remain low, and their weapons are still offline. Velnox studied the readings from his sensors. The primitive human vessel sat, helplessly in space, surrounded by 5 ships that represented the finest technology in the galaxy. It would all be over soon. Begin transport preparations, he ordered. I want the human crew beamed aboard our ships the moment the deadline expires. Their vessel can be taken to the research facility intact. On the bridge of the Harmony, Captain Daeho watched the alien ships through his main window. They were beautiful and terrible, like predators made of liquid metal and light. But he was not afraid. Signal confirmed sent, Hae-jin reported quietly. Response received. Package is being delivered. Dr. Miran checked her hidden sensors one more time. The alien ships were exactly where they needed to be. Their formation was perfect for surrounding the Harmony, but it also meant they were perfectly positioned for what was about to happen. All stations ready, Taemin announced. Weapons standing by, Jinwoo added. Daeho placed his hand on his command chair and waited. Outside, space looked empty except for his ship and the 5 alien vessels. But he knew that was about to change. 2 minutes remaining, Velnox announced over the open communication channel. Prepare for transportation, humans. Your old lives end now. Daeho smiled. Commander Velnox, he said, before you take us, would you like to see something interesting? Fapri. Alien Commander laughed, the sound like metal grinding against stone. What could primitives like you possibly show us that we have not seen before? Look at your sensors, Daeho said calmly. Tell me what you see in the space around us. Velnox gestured to his tactical officer, who ran a deep scan of the area. Empty space, the officer reported. Some cosmic dust, scattered particles of ice and rock, background radiation. Nothing of significance? Look again, Daeho suggested. But this time, look with simpler sensors. Try using basic electromagnetic detection, simple radar, maybe even visible light. The alien officer looked confused, but followed the orders. He switched his scanning array from quantum analysis to more primitive detection methods. For a moment, nothing changed on his screens. Then everything changed at once. What had appeared to be cosmic dust and scattered debris suddenly began to move. Particles that the advanced sensors had classified as random space junk started forming patterns. Chunks of ice and rock that should have been drifting aimlessly began to come together. What is happening? Velnox demanded, staring at his screens in disbelief. The scattered materials continued to move and join, revealing themselves to be something impossible. They were not random debris at all. They were pieces of a ship, a massive vessel that had been hiding in plain sight by disguising itself as exactly what the alien sensors expected to find in empty space. Impossible, whispered the alien tactical officer. Our quantum scanners would have detected any artificial structure. Our dimensional analyzers would have found any hidden ship. But as they watched, the scattered pieces continued to assemble. Steel plates that had looked like asteroids locked into place. Ice chunks that had seemed like random frozen gas revealed themselves as camouflaged fuel tanks. What had appeared to be cosmic dust was actually a cloud of metallic particles that had been hiding the ship's true shape. The hidden vessel was enormous, 3 times larger than any of the alien ships. Its hull was made of simple materials that registered as natural objects on advanced scanners: steel, iron, titanium, aluminum. Common metals that existed throughout the galaxy and drew no attention from sophisticated detection systems. Meet the Perseverance, Captain Daeho announced as the last pieces of the hidden ship clicked into place. She has been waiting here for 6 hours, disguised as space debris, while your sensors looked for quantum signatures and dimensional anomalies. On the bridge of the newly revealed ship, Captain Namho opened communication channels with both the Harmony and the alien fleet. He was a tall man with calm eyes and hands that had spent years working with simple tools and basic machinery. "Greetings," he said to the alien ships. "I am Captain Namho of the Earth vessel Perseverance. I apologize for the deception, but we needed to demonstrate something important about human ingenuity." Velnox stared at the massive ship that had appeared as if from nowhere. His sensors were now detecting it clearly, but the readings made no sense. The vessel should not be able to exist according to everything he knew about physics and engineering. "This is impossible," he said. "Your ship is constructed from primitive materials. Those metal plates should not be able to maintain structural integrity in space. Your power source appears to be a simple fusion reactor. Your propulsion system uses chemical thrusters." Captain Namho smiled. You are absolutely correct, Commander. Our ship is built using technology that your species abandoned millions of years ago. We use steel instead of programmable matter. We burn hydrogen instead of manipulating exotic energy. We navigate using computers that process information with electrical current instead of quantum entanglement. Dr. Kyung-soo, the chief scientist, aboard the Perseverance, joined the communication. She was a small woman with bright eyes and hands stained with oil from working on mechanical systems. The secret, she explained, is that simple technology can be just as effective as advanced technology if you use it correctly. Your sensors were looking for quantum signatures, so we hid using magnetic fields. You were scanning for exotic matter, so we built our ship from ordinary metals. The alien ships began moving into defensive positions, but their formations were designed to fight other advanced vessels. They had no protocols for dealing with something as primitive as the Perseverance. But how did you assemble the ship? Demanded Vel Knox. Our sensors were monitoring this area continuously. We would have detected any construction activity. Engineer Sei Jin aboard the Perseverance answered through the communication system. We did not assemble the ship here, she said. We disassembled it and scattered the pieces throughout this region of space weeks ago. The pieces drifted here naturally, carried by solar wind and gravitational fields. When the time came, we simply used magnetic fields and simple radio signals to bring them back together. The aliens were silent for a long moment as they tried to process what they were seeing. A ship that should not exist, built from materials that should not work, using methods that defied everything they understood about modern spacecraft construction. Your ship cannot possibly function, Vel Knox said finally. Primitive technology is primitive for a reason. It is inefficient, unreliable, and weak. Captain Nam Ho looked at his simple control panels, filled with switches and dials and mechanical readouts. Commander, he said, you are about to learn that sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Fleet Commander Vel Knox ordered his tactical officer to perform a complete scan of the mysterious human ship. The officer, a four-armed alien named Zeph-Ran, worked frantically at his quantum analysis station. Sir, Zeph-Ran reported, his metallic voice shaking with confusion. The readings make no sense. The ship appears to be held together by simple molecular bonds, metal plates connected with mechanical fasteners. No force fields, no programmable matter, no quantum stabilizers. Vel Knox studied the data streaming across his screens. Everything about the human vessel contradicted basic principles of modern engineering. How is it maintaining structural integrity? Those metal plates should tear apart under the stress of space travel. I do not know, sir, Zeph-Ran replied. According to our calculations, the ship should have broken apart the moment it moved. But our sensors clearly show it is intact and fully operational. On the bridge of the Perseverance, Dr. Kyung-soo smiled as she watched the alien ships trying to understand what they were seeing. She turned to Captain Nam Ho, who was sitting in a chair surrounded by mechanical controls and analog displays. They are running detailed scans, she reported. Their quantum computers are trying to analyze our hull composition. Should I begin the demonstration? Nam Ho nodded. Show them what human engineering can accomplish when we embrace simplicity instead of complexity. Dr. Kyung-soo moved to her station, which looked like something from Earth's industrial past. Banks of mechanical switches, analog meters with moving needles, and control panels covered with buttons and dials. No holographic displays, no quantum interfaces, no exotic matter manipulators. Beginning release sequence, she announced. She pressed a series of mechanical switches, and the Perseverance began to release clouds of what appeared to be metallic dust into space. The particles spread out in complex patterns, drifting toward the alien ships like a gentle metal snowfall. "What are they doing?" Velnox demanded, watching the approaching dust clouds on his screens. Zephyran scanned the particles frantically. "Simple iron filings, sir. Basic metallic particles with embedded magnetic fields. Nothing exotic or dangerous. Our shields should stop them easily." But as the dust clouds reached the alien ships, something unexpected happened. The particles did not strike the energy barriers and bounce away. Instead, they began to behave in ways that confused the advanced alien computers. "Sir," Zephyran said, his voice rising in panic, "the particles are not following predictable patterns. They should be repelled by our shields, but they are moving randomly through the energy fields." The alien ship's quantum computers began working harder, trying to calculate the trajectory of millions of individual iron filings. But the particles were not following any logical pattern. They moved randomly, chaotically, like leaves blown by an invisible wind. "How are they controlling the particles?" Velnox asked. "They are not controlling them, sir," Zephyran replied, staring at his readings in disbelief. "The particles are moving completely randomly. There is no pattern, no logic, no predictable behavior. The alien computers, designed to analyze and predict complex quantum phenomena, began to struggle with the simple randomness of the metallic dust. They tried to find patterns where none existed, to predict behavior that was genuinely unpredictable. On the Perseverance, engineer Si Jin monitored the effects of their first demonstration. She was a practical woman who preferred working with her hands rather than relying on automated systems. "Their computers are starting to show strain," she reported to Captain Namho. "The quantum processors are trying to analyze random motion, and it is causing computational overflow errors." "Excellent," Namho replied. "Begin Phase 2. Sijin activated another set of mechanical controls. This time, the Perseverance released a different type of cloud into space. Simple radio waves broadcasting random number sequences generated by mechanical devices that used thermal noise and mechanical vibration to create truly unpredictable signals. The alien ships received these transmissions and automatically tried to decode them. Their communication systems were designed to process the most complex quantum encrypted messages in the galaxy. But the human signals were not encrypted at all. They were just noise. "Sir," Zephyran reported, his voice now filled with fear, "our communication systems are experiencing cascading failures. The random signals are interfering with our quantum-entangled networks." Velnox could not understand what was happening. "How can random noise interfere with quantum encryption? It should be impossible. The noise is so random that our computers cannot filter it out," Zephyran explained. "Our systems are designed to handle sophisticated attacks, not simple chaos." On the bridge of the Harmony, Dr. Miran watched the alien ships beginning to show signs of distress. Their perfect formations were starting to drift as navigation systems struggled with the random interference. "It is working exactly as planned," she reported to Captain Deho. "Their technology is so advanced that it cannot handle basic randomness." Captain Namho opened a communication channel to all the alien ships. "Commander Velnox," he said calmly, "are you beginning to understand our demonstration?" "What are you doing to our systems?" Velnox demanded. "Our ships are experiencing malfunctions across multiple systems." "We are not attacking your ships," Namho replied. "We are simply releasing random metallic particles and broadcasting random radio signals. Nothing that should threaten advanced alien technology." Dr. Kyung-Soo joined the communication. The problem is that your technology is too sophisticated, she explained. Your computers are designed to find patterns and predict behavior. When they encounter true randomness, they cannot process it correctly. Impossible, Velnox said. Our quantum computers can handle any computational challenge in the universe. They can handle complex challenges, Dr. Kyung-soo agreed. But they cannot handle simple chaos. It is like asking a master mathematician to solve a problem that has no solution. The more intelligent the mathematician, the more frustrated they become. On the alien ships, the quantum computers continued to struggle with the random inputs. They had been designed to process information that followed logical patterns, even if those patterns were incredibly complex. But the human signals followed no pattern at all. "Sir," Zefran reported, "our navigation system is trying to calculate flight paths around randomly moving particles and has crashed from computational overflow. Our communication array is attempting to decode messages that contain no information and is experiencing memory failures." Velnox watched his ship's systems failing one by one. Not from damage or attack, but from trying to process information that their advanced technology could not handle. "How is this possible?" he asked. "We have the most sophisticated technology in the galaxy," Captain Namho answered through the communication channel. "Commander, you have made the same mistake that every advanced civilization makes. You assumed that more complex technology is always better technology. But our systems can do things your primitive technology cannot even imagine," Velnox protested. "That is true," Namho agreed. "Your ships can fold space, manipulate time, and remake matter at the quantum level. But can they handle a simple coin flip?" On the alien bridge, Zefran looked up from his failing systems. "Sir, he is correct. Our computers can predict the behavior of subatomic particles across multiple dimensions, but they cannot process truly random events." "This is our demonstration," Dr. Kyung-soo announced to all the alien ships. "Humans have learned to use randomness and chaos as tools. We embrace uncertainty instead of trying to eliminate it." The alien ships continued to drift as their systems struggled with the simple task of dealing with unpredictable inputs. Their advanced technology had become their weakness. As the alien ships continued to experience system failures, Captain Namho prepared for the next phase of the human demonstration. He looked around the bridge of the Perseverance at his crew working with their simple mechanical controls. "Open all communication channels," he ordered. "Every frequency that the alien ships are monitoring." Communications Officer Yoon-ji flipped a series of manual switches on her control panel. Unlike the quantum-entangled systems used by the aliens, her equipment relied on basic radio waves and electromagnetic signals. "All channels open, Captain," she reported. "Every alien ship in the fleet is receiving our transmission." Namho stood up and faced the communication screen. His image appeared simultaneously on the bridges of all 5 alien vessels, as well as on the Harmony. "Fleet Commander Velnox," he began, his voice calm and steady. "Members of the Alterian fleet, you are witnessing something that your civilization has never encountered before. You are seeing the deliberate use of primitive technology as a weapon, Onai." The alien flagship, Velnox, stared at the human captain in disbelief. Around him, his crew worked frantically to restore their failing systems. Quantum computers sparked and flickered as they tried to process random inputs. Navigation systems crashed and restarted in endless loops. "This is impossible," Velnox said. "Primitive technology cannot defeat advanced systems. It goes against every principle of galactic warfare." "You are wrong," Namho replied. Your mistake was assuming that advancement always means improvement. You built your technology to handle complex threats, but you forgot about simple ones. Dr. Kyung-soo joined the communication from her station. Your ships can defend against weapons that bend space and time, she said. But they cannot handle random iron filings floating through space. On the bridge of the alien ship, Tactical Officer Zephyr looked up from his failing systems. Sir, our defensive networks are designed to stop exotic matter cannons and dimensional bombs. They were never programmed to deal with metallic dust. Namho continued his broadcast to all the alien ships. For millions of years, your species has evolved toward greater and greater complexity. Your technology has become more sophisticated with each generation. You can manipulate reality itself. He paused, letting his words sink in. But in your pursuit of advancement, you lost something important. You forgot how to deal with chaos. You eliminated randomness from your lives. You made everything predictable and controlled. Pilot Yoonji demonstrated by manually flying the Perseverance in a pattern that made no sense. She rolled the massive ship left, then right, then up, then down with no logical sequence. Her movements were guided by intuition and impulse rather than calculated precision. Sir, Zephyr reported to Velnox, our tactical computers are trying to predict their flight path and cannot establish a pattern. They should be flying in formation or following escape vectors, but they are moving randomly. How are they controlling their ship? Velnox demanded. They appear to be using manual controls, Zephyr replied, his voice filled with amazement. The pilot is flying by instinct rather than computer calculation. Namho smiled as he watched the alien ship struggling to understand human behavior. Commander Velnox, your computers are trying to find logic in actions that are deliberately illogical. Your systems cannot predict what we will do next because we do not know what we will do next. On another alien ship, the tactical officer reported similar problems. Sir, the human vessel is releasing more random particles. Our targeting systems cannot lock onto the ship because the metallic dust is creating false readings. The aliens had never encountered an enemy that used confusion and unpredictability as primary weapons. Their military training focused on organized battles between forces using comparable technology. They had no experience fighting opponents who embraced chaos. Your civilization has spent eons perfecting order, Namho continued his broadcast. Every system in your society works according to precise rules. Your thoughts are enhanced by quantum computers that process information logically. Your actions are guided by perfect calculations. He gestured to his crew working at their mechanical stations. But humans are different. We have learned to work with uncertainty. We make decisions based on incomplete information. We adapt to situations that change without warning. Engineer Seijin demonstrated by shutting down and restarting the ship's EDE engines in a random pattern. The Perseverance accelerated, decelerated, and changed direction without any apparent plan. To the alien observers, it looked like the ship was malfunctioning, but every movement was deliberate. Sir, Zephyr reported, the human ship appears to be experiencing engine failures, but our sensors show that all their systems are functioning normally. They are not having engine failures, Velnox realized. They are changing their behavior randomly to confuse our tracking systems. Namho nodded as if he could hear the alien conversation. You understand now. We are not using superior technology to defeat you. We are using inferior technology in ways that your superior systems cannot counter. He opened his arms to encompass his entire bridge. Look at our equipment, mechanical switches, analog displays, manual controls. Technology that your species abandoned before you achieved spaceflight. But this primitive equipment has one advantage that your advanced systems lack. What advantage? Velnox asked, his voice barely a whisper. It works exactly the same way whether the universe makes sense or not, Namho replied. Your quantum computers require logical input to function. Our mechanical systems work even when everything around them is chaotic. Dr. Kyung-soo activated another demonstration. She released clouds of metallic particles that formed beautiful, complex patterns in space before suddenly dissolving into random chaos. The patterns were mesmerizing to watch, but impossible to predict. Sir, Zephyran reported, our analysis systems are trying to determine the purpose of those patterns and cannot find any logical explanation. They appear to be purely aesthetic. That is because they are purely aesthetic, Dr. Kyung-soo announced through the communication system. We created them because they are beautiful, not because they serve any tactical purpose. Your computers cannot understand actions that are taken for no logical reason. Namho delivered the final psychological blow. Commander Velnox, your species has become so advanced that you have forgotten how to be primitive. You have eliminated randomness, chaos, and uncertainty from your lives. You have made yourselves vulnerable to the very things you tried to escape. The alien commander stared at his failing systems, understanding for the first time that his technological superiority had become a weakness. His ships could reshape reality, but they could not handle a simple coin flip. We have shown you something important today, Namho concluded. Sometimes the most powerful weapon is the one your enemy cannot understand. Sometimes the best technology is the technology that makes no sense. The psychological warfare was complete. The aliens were not just losing a battle. They were losing their fundamental understanding of how the universe worked. Fleet Commander Velnox watched in horror as his flagship's command systems continued their downward spiral into chaos. Warning lights flashed across his bridge while alarm sounds filled the air. His quantum computers, the pride of Altarian technology, were failing one by one. "Status report," he demanded, though he dreaded the answer. Tactical Officer Zephyran looked up from his station with 4 arms moving frantically across failing control panels. "Sir, our main navigation computer has crashed completely. It tried to calculate probability matrices for the humans' random flight patterns and suffered total computational overflow." Another officer, communications specialist Morthak, added his own report of disaster. "Our quantum-encrypted communication array is experiencing cascading failures. The random radio signals from the human ship are creating interference patterns that our systems cannot filter out. On the other alien ships in the fleet, similar scenes of technological breakdown were occurring. The vessel commanded by Captain Kethvar reported that their targeting systems had locked onto a cloud of metallic dust and were trying to track millions of individual particles simultaneously, causing the computer cores to overheat. "How is this possible?" Velnox asked, his metallic voice cracking with stress. "Our technology is millions of years more advanced than theirs. Our computers can process quantum calculations across 17 dimensions. How can simple randomness defeat such sophisticated systems?" On the bridge of the Perseverance, Engineer Si-Jin smiled as she watched the readouts on her simple analog displays. Unlike the aliens' holographic interfaces and quantum processors, her equipment used moving needles, mechanical gauges, and electrical circuits that had been unchanged for centuries. "Their targeting system is trying to lock onto our ship," she reported to Captain Namho. "But the random metallic particles around us are creating thousands of false targets." She adjusted a mechanical dial that controlled the ship's electromagnetic field generators. The simple devices created random magnetic pulses that made the iron filings in space dance in unpredictable patterns. "Increase the chaos," Namho ordered. "Show them what happens when order meets true randomness." Sijin flipped a series of manual switches, activating systems that had been built using technology that was deliberately primitive. Random number generators based on thermal noise. Mechanical devices that created truly unpredictable movements. Simple radio transmitters that broadcast pure static. On the alien flagship, Zefran stared at his instruments in growing panic. "Sir, our defensive systems are trying to analyze the threat posed by the random signals and cannot complete the analysis. The computers are stuck in processing loops." "What kind of processing loops?" Velnox asked. "They are trying to find patterns in pure randomness," Zefran explained. "The more processing power they dedicate to the task, the more confused they become. It is like asking our most intelligent computers to solve a problem that has no solution." The alien ships began to drift out of their perfect formation as navigation systems failed. Beautiful vessels that had moved with mechanical precision now wandered through space like lost children. Captain Kethvar of the second alien ship contacted Velnox through their failing communication system. "Commander, our ship's AI is experiencing what can only be described as a nervous breakdown. It keeps trying to predict what the humans will do next, but their actions follow no logical pattern. Our AI systems are having similar problems," reported Captain Nal Hex from the third ship. "The artificial intelligence is designed to learn from experience and improve its performance. But the humans keep doing things that make no sense, so the AI cannot learn anything useful." On the Perseverance, Dr. Kyung-soo monitored the effects of their demonstration with growing satisfaction. Her equipment showed that the alien ship's quantum computers were consuming enormous amounts of power trying to process random inputs. "Their systems are working harder than ever before," she reported to Namho. "But all that processing power is being wasted on trying to understand chaos." "Perfect," Namho replied. "Show them what human ingenuity looks like when we stop trying to be logical." Dr. Kyung-soo activated her next demonstration. She released a cloud of simple mechanical devices into space. Each device was no more complex than a children's toy, containing springs, gears, and mechanical timers. When activated, they moved in completely random directions, creating patterns that defied any attempt at prediction. "Sir," Zefran reported to Velnox, "the humans have released some kind of mechanical probes. Our sensors show that they are constructed from basic materials, but they are moving in ways that violate our understanding of physics." "Analyze their propulsion systems," Velnox ordered. "That is the problem, sir," Zefran replied. "They do not have propulsion systems. They appear to be moving using mechanical springs and rotating wheels, simple machines that should only work in an atmosphere with gravity." "Then how are they moving in space?" "We do not know, sir. Our quantum computers cannot model their behavior because the movement appears to be genuinely random." The truth was that the mechanical devices were indeed using springs and wheels, but they had been designed by human engineers who understood that simple machines could work in space if they were built correctly. The aliens' computers could not understand this because they had forgotten how basic mechanical systems functioned. On the fourth alien ship, Captain Welton reported that his vessel's artificial intelligence had begun talking to itself in an attempt to understand the human tactics. "The AI keeps asking questions about the purpose of random actions," he said. "It cannot accept that some actions have no purpose beyond creating confusion." Engineer Si Jin aboard the Perseverance demonstrated another principle of human warfare by manually shutting down and restarting various ship systems in a pattern that served no tactical purpose. The ship's lights flickered, engines cycled through different power levels, and communication arrays turned on and off seemingly at random. "Sir," Zephyran said to Velnox, "the human ship appears to be experiencing multiple system failures, but our sensors show that all their equipment is functioning normally." "They are not having system failures," Velnox realized with growing dread. "They are deliberately making their ship behave unpredictably." But why would they do that? It serves no tactical advantage. "That is exactly why they do it," Velnox said, finally beginning to understand. "Our computers are trying to find the tactical advantage in actions that have no tactical advantage." On the fifth alien ship, Captain Beck Lund reported that his crew was experiencing psychological stress from watching the human demonstrations. "My officers cannot understand what they are seeing," he said. "The humans appear to be using technology incorrectly, but it is working perfectly." Namho opened a communication channel to all the alien ships. "Fleet Commander Velnox," he said, "do you understand what is happening to your fleet?" Velnox looked around his bridge at the failing systems and panicking crew. "You are destroying our ships without firing a single shot." "We are not destroying anything," Namho corrected. "Your own technology is destroying itself by trying to understand something that cannot be understood." The alien commander finally grasped the true horror of what the humans had done. They had not defeated advanced technology with superior weapons. They had defeated it with chaos itself. The alien fleet was in complete disarray. 5 of the most advanced ships in the galaxy drifted helplessly through space, their crews struggling with systems that had become incomprehensible to their own users. Fleet Commander Velnox stared at his command screens, watching quantum computers crash and restart in endless cycles. "Sir," Tactical Officer Zephyran reported, his forearms shaking as he tried to operate controls that no longer responded properly. "Our main computer core is trying to process 17 billion random variables simultaneously. The system is consuming all available power and cannot complete any calculations." On the bridge of the Perseverance, Captain Namho watched the alien ships with a mixture of satisfaction and sadness. These beautiful vessels represented millions of years of technological evolution, but they had become so sophisticated that they could no longer handle simple problems. "Open a channel to the entire alien fleet," he ordered communications officer. "Yunji, channel open, sir," she replied, using her mechanical radio equipment that worked regardless of quantum interference or dimensional distortions. Namho's image appeared on the bridges of all 5 alien ships, as well as on the Harmony. His face was calm and peaceful, showing no triumph or cruelty despite his complete victory. "Fleet Commander Velnox," he began, "I want to explain what has happened here today. You came to capture a primitive human research vessel. You expected to find frightened biologicals using outdated technology." He gestured to his bridge, where his crew continued to work with their simple mechanical controls. "You were not wrong. We are biologicals who live short lives and die easily. Our technology is indeed primitive compared to yours." On the alien flagship, Velnox listened while his crew worked frantically to restore basic functions. Their quantum computers had become so confused by random inputs that they could no longer perform simple tasks like navigation or communication. "But you made a critical error," Namho continued. "You assumed that primitive meant inferior. You believed that advanced technology was always better than simple technology. Dr. Kyung-soo joined the communication from her station, surrounded by analog displays and mechanical switches. The truth is that different types of technology are good for different purposes, she said. Your quantum computers are excellent for complex calculations, but they are terrible at handling chaos. Our mechanical systems are simple and limited, added Engineer Si-jin, but they work the same way whether the universe is orderly or chaotic. Nam-ho looked directly at Velnox through the communication screen. Your species evolved past the ability to deal with uncertainty. You eliminated randomness from your lives and built technology that requires predictability to function. He paused, letting his words sink in. Humans chose a different path. We embraced chaos. We learned to work with incomplete information. We built systems that function even when everything around them makes no sense. On the second alien ship, Captain Kethvar reported that his artificial intelligence had completely shut down rather than continue trying to process random inputs. The AI said it was experiencing what it called logical paradoxes, he told Velnox through their failing communication system. Your computers are designed to be intelligent, Nam-ho explained, but intelligence becomes a weakness when faced with true randomness. The smarter the system, the harder it tries to find patterns where none exist. Pilot Yunji demonstrated by flying the Perseverance in a spiral pattern that slowly transformed into a figure 8, then changed to random zigzags, then returned to a spiral again. Her movements were guided by intuition and whim rather than tactical considerations. Sir, Zephyran reported to Velnox, our predictive algorithms are trying to anticipate their next maneuver and have crashed from computational overflow. The system cannot accept that their flight pattern has no logical purpose. Nam-ho nodded as if he could hear the alien conversation. Your mistake was thinking that all actions must have logical purposes. Sometimes humans do things simply because we feel like doing them. Sometimes we make decisions based on emotions or random impulses. He looked around at his crew working with their primitive equipment. This ship was built using technology that your species abandoned millions of years ago. But that old technology has advantages that your advanced systems lack, Dr. Kyung-soo explained further. When our mechanical systems break, we can fix them with simple tools. When your quantum computers fail, you need other quantum computers to repair them. When our equipment encounters something unexpected, it adapts. When your systems encounter chaos, they shut down. On the third alien ship, Captain Nalhex reported that his crew was experiencing what could only be described as technological vertigo. My officers are questioning everything they know about engineering and physics, he said. How can primitive systems outperform advanced ones? Because advancement is not always improvement, Nam-ho answered, having heard similar questions before. Your technology became so sophisticated that it lost touch with basic reality. You built systems that could manipulate space and time but could not handle a coin flip. Engineer Se-jin released one final demonstration into space, a cloud of simple soap bubbles created by mechanical devices that mixed basic chemicals. The bubbles drifted through space in beautiful, random patterns before eventually popping and disappearing. Sir, Zephyran said to Velnox, they have released some kind of spherical objects that serve no apparent purpose. Our computers are trying to analyze their tactical significance and cannot find any. That is because they have no tactical significance, Velnox realized, his voice filled with defeated understanding. They are soap bubbles. The humans made soap bubbles in space because they wanted to see something beautiful. Nam-ho smiled at the alien commander's comprehension. Now you begin to understand, Commander. Humans do not do everything for logical reasons. Sometimes we create beauty for its own sake. Sometimes we act randomly just to see what happens. The alien fleet began to retreat, their ships limping away from the human vessels. Their crews worked desperately to restore basic functions, while their commanders tried to process the psychological impact of their defeat. "Before you go," Namho said, "I want you to carry a message back to the Galactic Council." Velnox looked up from his failing systems. "What message?" "Tell them that humanity requests membership in the galactic community," Namho replied. "Not as subjects or servants, but as equals. We have something to offer that the galaxy has forgotten." "What do you have to offer?" Velnox asked. "The ability to handle chaos," Namho answered. "The willingness to embrace uncertainty. The knowledge that sometimes the best solution is the simplest one." On the Harmony, Captain Deho opened his own communication channel. "Commander Velnox, you came here believing that advanced civilizations always defeat primitive ones. Today you learned that evolution does not always move in the same direction." Intelligence Officer Wu Jin, who had been monitoring all communications throughout the encounter, made his final report to Earth Command. "Mission successful. Alien fleet retreated without casualties on either side. Demonstration of control. Chaos achieved complete psychological victory over advanced enemy technology." As the alien ships disappeared into the darkness of space, their crews carried with them a new understanding of humanity's place in the galaxy. They had encountered a species that turned weakness into strength and disadvantage into opportunity. The humans had not won through superior firepower or advanced technology. They had won by being exactly what they appeared to be: primitive, chaotic, unpredictable beings who had learned to make those traits into weapons. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had proven that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one who refuses to play by the rules that everyone else follows. And sometimes the best technology is the technology that makes no sense at all.